Okay, go.
Alright, so I decided to talk about the three Hebrew children of casting to the furnace. And I looked at it from a little different angle this time, and I was looking at it from the fire aspect of it. And I think this is right. I should have looked it up to be sure. Well, I know that it's talked about a lot, but the number 7. Does anyone know the significance of the number 7?
It is the number of something.
It is the number of something. What is the number?
It's the wholeness or the Sabbath. No,
The number 7.
it's the number of.
I've just always called it the perfect number.
Yeah.
7 perfect numbers.
Is it because of the half 14?
No.
I think it's because creation was created in 7 days, or 6 days and 7 days. Anyway, I was looking at this it was a very familiar scripture, but I kind of wanted to look at it from a different angle and kind of talk about it. And can we title our what we're talking about? So what I want to talk about is changing the script. Does everyone know what a script is? Some kind of guidelines of what's supposed to happen through an activity or whatever. Well, what I want to talk about is changing the script and looking at it from the aspect of the number 7 and the fire and God and all that. So creation was created in 6 days, and on the 7th day God rested. Right? You know that? Does anyone even care? Well, it happens. So what I'm looking at is as the story goes, King Nebuchadnezzar built a great image. He wanted everyone to bow down to. He wanted everyone to worship. And so they played all this fancy music, and they were supposed to get down and worship this great image of the king. Well, the 3 Hebrew children, as you know, didn't bow down and worship. They didn't submit. They didn't do what he wanted them to do. So he was going to cast them into fire furnace. Evidently, they made him extremely mad at what they said, and so he made fire 7 times hotter than what he usually did. So the number 7, I've heard it preached a lot. It had to be 7 times hotter because it saved them. It had to be 7 times hotter because it is whatever. All that's great. God revealed that to a bunch of these people. But what I was looking at from this angle is changing the script is, and this is way off the wall. It doesn't say that it happened this way. It doesn't say that it didn't happen this way. So this is just the way that I looked at it from this angle. Obviously, Satan had his hand in this, trying to tear down the 3 Hebrew children. He wanted to break them down and say, look, your God's not going to save you. Your God's not going to do this. He's not going to come through for you. And so, in my mind, I had this huge imagination. I have a very good imagination. I never was lonely as a child because I always invented people. I never was bored because I always had something to do because I always just made up stuff to do. So in my imagination, this is kind of how I saw this. Satan sits down and he decides, okay, regular fire isn't going to kill these guys because God's going to come through in the flesh and he's going to save them. So what I have to do is, okay, if he goes along with the script of what he's done before, if it's 6 times hotter, he'll save them on the 6th time. But if it's 7 times hotter, then he's going to be rested on the 7th time. This sounds really weird, doesn't it? This is just what I come up with. Somehow I know that I got this. Anyway, does everyone understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know. Anyway, so Satan's saying, all right, God, I'm 1 step ahead of you. I've got you figured out. You're always resting on the number 7 for some reason. It's a perfect number. That's your great number. So you're always resting. You're not going to do anything when it's 7 times hotter. So they throw the Hebrew children in, and they're just chilling. Probably not chilling because it's really hot, but they didn't burn. They're just there. You got something to say? So looking at changing the script, and this is my whole point of talking about this. God will change everything around to your advantage. No matter what is coming against you, no matter what you're facing, God's always one step ahead of the devil. He's always one step ahead of the enemy and whatever he's trying to do to tear you down. And so and again, it doesn't say that it didn't happen this way, so my imagination can make it up. Satan said, as long as I got it 7 times harder, God will be resting. God said, I don't care how high it is, those are my children. I don't care what the terminology, what number, what anything is. I'm skipping the script here. I'm changing the script. I'm going to do something different this time. And as we all know, he pulled the children of Israel, or the 3 Hebrew children out. Another thing I want to look at this is, the number 7 is a perfect number because it's the number of completion. Is that right?
That's it.
The number of completion. I was thinking so, and if I was wrong, then my whole everything was going to be jacked up. But I'm glad I was right. Thought I knew something. The number 7 is the number of completion. The coffee maker's fixing to take flight. And so, someone that's looking at this saying, all right, they heated it up 7 times hotter, should mean that's the end. That's the end of something, it's over. But changing the script again, we look at the number 7 as not a completion, but a beginning. Because if you read on down through the end of chapter 3 and into chapter 4, it says that these 3 Hebrew children were promoted in the land. They were all given high ruling positions, they were all given ranking positions. And so here it wasn't necessarily a number of completion, but a number of beginning. It was a fresh start. It was a rebirth. It was the God saying, "I'm pulling you out of this. I'm setting you up top. I'm giving you new abilities. I'm giving you new rule or new powers." I guess is the word. So changing the script, you can look at it 2 ways. From the number 7, the fire aspect, and the God aspect of it. At the number 7, if you look back in the Bible, God should have been resting. But instead, he was at work saving his people. And then, as so many times in the Bible, the number 7 is used as a number of completion. In this case, it was used as a beginning of something. And it was the beginning of God being in Babylon. And so that's my lesson. That's just what I got out of it. Changing the script. God's always one step ahead of the devil. He's always got a plan, even when you think it's over, even when you think everything is done and you're out of options. God's always one step ahead.
Good job.